That's fine. She is. She
Yeah,
is.
it is the same link.
It is. I know. That's why I found it. But I must have missed the email.
Yeah, there was actually she sent an email and then and she sent an email that said Zentangle 6 to 8. And then she wrote in the email, my mistake, it's 6:30 to 8. It's usual.
Oh, I missed it. Okay, no worries.
No, as long as you found it, that's a good thing.
Marcia, you're on mute. I think you're talking.
You got here anyway.
Yeah, right. It just doesn't need any further analysis.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. I was rushing when I sent out the email and put the wrong time in the subject line. And anyway. Um, let's
Okay. Okay. Let's take
okay. Let me see. What are we working with tonight? We're going to use our Renaissance tile. And I think I gave you a brown pen in this kit and a white charcoal. I did not include a Zentangle pencil in this kit because I figured you probably had one. Oh,
Oh, is that baby that we hear?
that's with a baby.
I know Myrna has a baby here.
We can't hear
Can
you.
If you want to see her, I can show her off real quick.
Yeah.
We want to see her.
Maxine, these people want to see you.
Yeah, she's gonna walk right over.
You're not gonna take her.
I have to take her for a minute.
Why can't?
Come here, come see me. And come get her back.
Bring her back.
See all my friends on the Zoom.
There's
Oh. Oh, you're such a big girl.
Hi,
There
big
she is.
girl.
Wait, you want to see all my friends? Wait. There she is, Miss Maxine.
Hi, Maxine.
Oh,
Hi, all
hi,
those people.
Maxine.
Hi.
She's beautiful.
Thank you. She's enjoying Florida weather for another day.
She's so big.
She's big, yeah.
How old is she, Myrna?
Tomorrow, 13 months.
Oh, wow.
Jane's grandson and her already have a match in place.
Oh, that's fun.
All right, I want to move her back to Big Papa George.
Big Papa. I love it.
Go back in the car.
So I realize we may be a smaller group tonight because of all of the moving around, and thank you for being flexible. And class is recorded, so anybody who's not here in person tonight will join. We'll catch up when they can. I wanted to take a couple of minutes and just tell you about. So next weekend is the Mosaic. No, next weekend is Cantor Becky Mann, who's going to be with us. So the 14th and 15th, she's an up and coming cantor. She's a brand new cantor, and she's also a brilliant singer-songwriter, writing Jewish music. We've been singing her music at services. And next Friday, not tomorrow, but a week from Friday, the 14th, she'll be with us with Ruach and Kolot Sinai members. And then Saturday morning, she'll be with us for Avodat Halev. Then she'll be doing a musical workshop in the late morning around 11:15. And then there's a Havdalah concert at 7 on the evening of the 15th. So all going to be great things going on. And I hope you can join us for that. And then maybe even more for this crowd is The last weekend in March, the 28th, 29th, 30th, is our mosaic artist, Audrey Markoff, is coming. I'm going to take the spotlight off of you, Myrna. And we're going to do a community mosaic with her. So together, everyone in the congregation is going to do a little piece. Imagine like when we do a mosaic for our Zentangle tiles, everybody does a little piece, and then the piece gets to be a part of the larger whole. So she's with us. We're going to make a 16 square foot piece of art that's going to be a beautiful tree that spans over 4 panels that she's going to bring and make for us. And everyone in the congregation is going to use Sculpey clay, which she's already fired, so it's hard, it's brittle, in all different colors. And you can break the clay into little tiny pieces. And she gives us a template that's sticky. And you stick your little pieces on the template that maybe is shaped like a leaf, or maybe is a piece of the stone wall, or maybe is a piece of the sky of this image that we're creating. You fill your template with all these little beautiful clay pieces. And then that little template is going to go and become part of this larger mosaic. So the goal is to have everyone participate. And it's going to be so much fun. There's going to be drop-ins all throughout the weekend. This is not a project that takes a long time for each person to do. You could do one leaf and it could take you 15 minutes, or you could do 6 leaves and it'll take you an hour, whatever, however many you want to do, you can be a part of it. So there'll be different drop-ins throughout the weekend. And then on Saturday afternoon, the 29th, if you want to make a piece of mosaic art that you can take home and put in your own house, that's not going towards this community mosaic, she's running a workshop from 1 to 3, I think it is. You have to pay and you have to register to get to make your own like 6x6 mosaic, your own art project, which I think is also going to be a tree, but it'll be on a smaller scale, and you'll be able to finish it in that time frame and take it home. So I know for some it's a little hard to conceptualize. Does that make sense? I'm going to be sending out a video, and Shelly and I are working on photos, like step-by-step photos for how this is going to work. But it's really up this group's alley, and I think it's going to be a real blast and a lot of fun. Shelly, I see you unmuted. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just have a question. The personal workshop, are we going to take home a completed thing that day, or we're making the pieces and she's going to put it together?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, Cindy asked me the question, and I thought that we're making the pieces and she's going to take it home and put it together, but now the way you're describing it, I'm not sure. So
I'm not totally sure. We'll have a check-in with her and we will find out. Either way, you'll end up with a completed work of art that is yours to take home at this Saturday afternoon workshop. That's a good question. We'll find out.
That's the question. Will it be ready to take home?
I don't know.
Okay.
But at some point you will get to take it home.
Right. Just clarify. Just
yeah. Does anybody have any questions about that? It's really going to be fun. She's awesome, and making the little mosaic pieces is fun. I've made a bunch of them already, just kind of get my hands in it. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have more questions, and if you want to sign up, it's in the weekly, I think, or just email me and we'll get you on the list. It is a fee to do the 2-hour workshop to bring home your own piece of art, but everything else during the weekend for the collaborative art project is free.
Micah, you don't need to sign up for any of the others. You just come, correct?
If you want to come to the Friday night one before services, we're ordering pizza, so we just need to have a count for that. So that's the only other thing that you have to register for, just food. So there's no fee. You just have to let us know.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to get my brain organized.
Yep.
Sorry.
No problem. Anybody else have questions? You'll be hearing more from us about this in the coming weeks. But we want to get through Cantor Becky Mann first, who we're also really excited about, but that's more self-explanatory. Okay. Are we ready to do some Zentangle this evening? Okay. Great. So take a second and take a look at our tools that we're using tonight. We're on a tan square. We're using our brown Micron 01 that I think was in your kits that I sent home, should be. You could use a black one, it really doesn't matter, but if you have the brown, it's fun on the tan tile. A white charcoal pencil, which I think I also gave you, a tortillon, and a regular Zentangle pencil, which I did not include in your kit because I figure you probably have a handful of them by now. Everybody good? Got what you need? Okay, awesome. Take a moment, look around your space, and just clear away any clutter, anything that doesn't need to be there, anything that's going to distract you. Maybe even set your phone someplace else where it's not gonna buzz and bing and pull your focus. And just sort of straighten up your space, tidy up your space so that we can be as free and focused on our tile in front of us. This is a high focus tangle tonight, one that you're definitely going to want to do again once you get the hang of it. But it is really fun and I hope you'll enjoy it. So let's breathe together for a couple of minutes. Get comfortable. Close your eyes. Feet flat on the floor. Hands in your lap. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Sit up nice and tall. And let's take some deep, long, slow breaths in through the nose. And a long, slow breath out through the mouth. Again, another long, slow breath in through the nose. And let it out through the mouth. One more together in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Check in with your body. Scan from the top of your head to your face and neck, releasing any tension as you go. You can sort of check in with all of your facial features. Are you clenching, scrunching? Just release. Send some openness into those spaces. Maybe roll your shoulders down and back. And then maybe reverse directions, up and forward. Roll your neck if it feels good. Maybe a little twist in your chair. Shake out your legs. Rotate your knees back and forth. Roll your ankles, wiggle your toes. You stretch your legs out straight in front of you and then release them down to the floor again, whatever you need. And set an intention for our Zentangle time together tonight, whether it be creativity or relaxation, compassion, no criticisms, no apologies, just let it be, just go with the flow. And one that I've been coming back to lately, it's just a Zentangle tile. At the Zentangle reading, it was just a pair of sneakers. Like there's the stakes are low, just have fun with it. Okay? One more deep breath in through your nose and let it out. And let's begin. So this is based on a video that is on YouTube by Rick and Maria, the creators of Zentangle, from their project pack. It was the last project pack 25. This is day 11. They did it in one way, and then I kind of went crazy with it and added added more. So you can, after this, maybe you want to go and watch theirs. But I'm going to show you what I did with it. So we're going to go right in with our brown pen, no string tonight, straight in with the pen. And I'm sorry, Amy, it's Amy Lillian Harper, we're doing S curves, all S curves.
Are we doing Elish?
It's the Elish variation, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to do this one again.
Okay, good. Well, I made mine look different. So this one, if you do a lot of Zentangle, Amy just said the name, it's kind of like an Elish, which is the name of a tangle that we've done, not for a long time. And it's also, I think it's a little bit like Fengle, which is an oldie but a goodie. We've also done that one, but not for a really long time. So here we go. We're going to end up with 7 or 8 S curves that radiate out from the middle towards the edge of the tile. They don't all have to be even. They don't all have to look the same. They're just going to spoke out. It doesn't even have to be perfectly centered. They're just going to spoke out and go in a lot of different directions. So perhaps you want to watch this step first, but it's always an S curve, a nice wide elongated S. So I'm starting in the center. And I'm making an S. Then I'm turning my tile, and I'm starting from the same point that first S came from in the center-ish of my tile. And I'm making another one. I'm turning my tile, starting in the center, making another S. And already you can see one of them is really long, and then these two are a little bit shorter. It doesn't matter. Starting in the center, making an S, turning my tile, making an S, and I'm going to add one more like so. Okay, so it's this little squid-like thing that comes out of the center in all of these S shapes. All right, so here we go. This is the focus part. So I'm going to make an auraed line that starts about the length of the metal pen nib in from this outer edge of the S. What does that mean? It'll be much easier for me to show you than to try to explain. So I'm going to come about a 1/4 inch in, and I'm going to make an aura that's about 1 inch long, and that's it. Okay, and we're going to go around and do that on all of them, just this 1 inch aura in this one section. So about a 1/4 inch down and maybe about 1 inch long, maybe a little longer. And it's a tight aura. I'm just making my way around the tile. I spit on my tile, so now the ink doesn't want to go there. I happened to come upon a tile. There's a mosaic app, a Zentangle mosaic app where people upload tiles. Maybe you're on it. And I saw a post from Maria of Zentangle fame, who in the post from years ago said that she cut herself and like dripped blood on her tile and then had to figure out how to tangle around it. Anyway, thought that was fun and a little gross. Okay, so now we've got all these little auras hanging out there. What are we going to do with them? We are going to, well, it's not going to be abundantly clear yet, but we're going to now start from the tip and we're going to come and touch this aura. I'm a little ways in from the top of that aura line that we just drew. And then I'm going to curve down to the line below. Okay, got lots of opportunities to try this. So again, I'm going to start from the tip of this S curve here. I'm going to touch down on that aura a little ways in. And then I'm going to curve down to meet the S curve below. Turning my tile. Same thing again from the tip, a little bit of the ways in on the aura, and curving down to the S below it. Turn the tile. Okay.
Henry, can you bring me my glasses, please?
Gonna mute her. Great. We okay so far? All right, let's keep going. So now we're going to start back up at these outer tip again. We're going to, so it's like sort of an attached aura. So instead of this one, we came just inside of the top of this curve here. Now we're going to do the same thing down here. So a little bit in from the end of that aura that we made, and then coming down. You could make them connect at the bottom. I like to have them with a little bit of space all the way down. Turn your tile. Connect to that aura. And then down. Turning. Okay. Everybody good? All right, great. So now back to the same place we started on the outer edge of the S. We're right next to the line we just finished drawing. We're going to make this sort of gently curving line. It's like this one's sort of a reverse S that touches down. So it's to the right of this shape that we've got here. And we're going to give it, it's a little like a petal. You know, when the whole thing is together, it's a little petal shape or teardrop shape. Okay, turn the tile. So again, we've got this band here that we've created. We're going to the right of it and touching down on the other band, creating this petal or teardrop shape. Turn the tile, drawing to the right. Turn your tile, draw to the right, turn, draw to the right. I've got one more, turn and draw to the right. So already it's this really pretty floral shape. I like freestanding tangles that can kind of exist on their own. They're a good place to start if you're working on a, a bigger surface. Okay, then come back and find, whatever point you're going to start with. So we just finished drawing all of these verse curves to the right. Now we're going to come and do one that kind of comes around to the left. So we're sort of just making the other side of it. And I really like that they're all different shapes. They're not all the same size. I didn't really plan it that way. It just kind of happens that way. And then you can go ahead if you want to. I mean, this is an optional step, but I like it. You've got these little V's here. You can go ahead and just make another little piece that's kind of there in the background. All right, so we've got something like this. Give you a second. All right. So watch what happens here. This is really cool. So that first aura that we drew is like a slit in a piece of paper that we then tucked this ribbon into. But how do we make it look even more like it's going, like this is going through it? Just go ahead and make the close these little triangles, top and bottom, and then color in. And all of a sudden, there's the slit and there's the ribbon going right through. Okay, so watch again. Just make a little triangle there and a little triangle there. Color in. Okay. All right. That's the hard part. The rest is fun embellishing. This was the tangle part. Now comes the Zen. So I don't have a ton of room around the outside, but I'm going to do some aura-ing all around the outside of the shape, and then we're going to come back and do some stuff in the interior. So with the space that you have, let's make a nice tight aura all the way around the outside of the shape, following really closely all the little ins and outs of your shape that you've created. And it's really fun because there was really no way to predict what our shape was going to be like. It really takes on a life of its own. And once you're done with that first aura all the way around the outside, we're going to do another one. This one just ever so slightly wider. Not a whole lot, but a little bit wider than the first one. And don't be afraid to go off your tile. It's totally fine. It adds to the interest and the uniqueness, and I think it gives it energy. It's like it's so emphatic, it's busting off the tile. And when you're done with that second aura, we're going to do one more back to the width of the first one, so a little tighter. So you've got one narrow one that's slightly wider, and then another narrow one. And don't worry if yours came out in different shapes and sizes, that's okay. Okay. All right, so let's add some detail in that wider band of an aura. I'm going to show you in a relatively, flat section over here. Start with an orb all the way nestled top to bottom. You could try it with just a dot in the center, or if you want a little bit more ink and drama, you can fill it almost to the outside, but not to the outside. So it's like you have an orb, and then you put a smaller colored in orb in the center that doesn't go all the way out to the edges. You could try just a dot, or you could try a filled in kind of eyeball sort of thing. Maybe you want to watch and see what you like better. You could always do the dot and then go back and make it bigger if you want to. Okay, so then I'm going to the right just because that, I don't know, seems like the right thing to do. I'm making a curved aura, slight curve, 2 straight lines, and then a slight curve like a C in the other direction. And then I'm going to make another orb and, putting whatever you want on the inside. And then that curve, that sort of aura's the orb, 2 straight lines, and then C curve going in the other direction. You could make all the lines straight also, it doesn't matter. I just liked it as a little echo of the orb. Then another circle, and however you want to fill it in. So we're going to do that all the way around. It's like a frame detail. If you have any kind of ornate or intricate frame at home, It's a really nice border and it's very relaxing to do. So go ahead. I'm going to go quiet for a while and I'm going to fill this band with these shapes. And if you end up with 3 straight lines instead of 2, it doesn't matter. Just have fun with it. Oops, sorry. Remember to come back to your breath, long and slow, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Relax your grip on your pen. Enjoy the moments with this simple pattern where you have to sort of figure out, okay, where am I going next with this? Just enjoy the flow of it. Don't overthink it. Enjoy this reddish brown ink on this tan tile. The longer you leave your pen to paper, the darker the ink becomes. So you get lots of nice variations in the color. It's really beautiful. Kind of interesting trying to fit them in as they hang off the page here. You can come back to your intention. What are you hoping to get out of this time? What does Zentangle do for you? As you come back around and you are approaching where you started, just kind of gauge your spacing so that you can have everything meet up in a way that works harmoniously. Doesn't have to be a perfect alignment, but it's kind of like driving. You're looking down the road a bit to see what's coming. So you see where you need to be. So I have an interesting, it's like, what do I want to fit in here? I'm going to squeeze in another orb. There we go. It's nice. It adds some drama, some ink. Take another minute to finish up this border. If you don't finish it before I move on, you can always come back to it. You know what you're doing. Okay, let's play with these interior shapes that happened here. These really pretty petals that are just a result of all the other lines that we drew. I like to do these weighted lines inside some sort of striping. So I'm going to start in the center. I'm going to work in this space right here. You pick whichever one of your little petals you're going to work in. And I'm going to go from the center. And I'm going to make a line that goes out to the edge there. And then I'm going to fan out at the end and give it a little bit more weight as it touches this line here. And maybe I'll do 2 or 3 of these lines that come out with just a little bit of weighting at the end. I think 3. And just that little V, that little triangle of extra ink at the edge really will give a nice effect, you'll see. Okay, I'm going to go to this really long one that I have here and do the same thing in the next space. So I'm going to start from the very center. One line and this little V of weighted ink. Second one. And a third one. Turn my tile, go to the next one, do the same thing. So I'm ending up with 3 in most of them. Turning your tile, go to the next one. And my last one. That already looks very cool. I added a lot. Before we move on to like the next step, let's do a tiny little thing that I love to do that I think adds so much to our Zentangle work. We have all of these V's, these little V shapes that have formed here. Let's go in. So I'm isolating right now. I'm just looking in this section here. I've got 3 V's. I've got 4. I've got one here, one here, one here, and one here. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little, like this little curved bit of weighting like heaviness, not like I'm waiting for the bus to come, in each intersection of the V. You can even do it up here. There's like 4 or 5. And I like the way that adds a lot of intentionality to the line. So then I'm going to turn my tile and I'm going to look for the next set of V's. So there's a little one here. It's a little one here. A little one here. Here. You could even do a little bit there. Think of a stained glass window and how the lead or whatever they use kind of pools in the corners a little bit. That's what we're going for. Turn your tile, look for your V's, and just add a little bit of ink there. I do this all the time, and it also just slows me down. It's something to do, like if you don't know what your next move is on a tile, I go around, sometimes we say aura it, sometimes we say orbs. You could also say weight it, put some weighting in. Okay, and then when you come back around and realize that you've done that one already, you're done. All right, so I'd like to continue these sort of like spoking, kaleidoscoping lines. We have these little spaces up here on the outside, and we can sort of make it look like these lines that we've drawn are coming underneath all of this stuff and poking up here. So we can do the same kind of thing, just a couple little lines that radiate out in these corners. It doesn't matter that they don't really line up exactly with these lines here. The eye pulls it through and it looks like it's still all part of the same spoking lines that we've got. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm making 3 little lines. You might have more, you might have less, and they're weighted on the outside edge, just a little bit more ink. Turning my tile. It's just a rinse and repeat kind of a thing. All right, take another minute to finish up this step. I see heads down, so I assume you're mostly still working. All right, so now I want to give some attention to these bands that go through the slits that we made. So we have these shapes here. I'm going to start with my biggest one. We're going to do a variation on a tangle called Senna. It's sort of like a diva dance. Sometimes we do diva dance rock and roll, which is in the round like a spiral. It's actually kind of like the border that we did. It's sort of a line thick and then line thin. Again, words are not, I'm not doing a good job explaining this in words. It will be easier for you to see what I mean here. So we're going to make these, I'm going to do them at an angle. Maybe I'm going to do like 4 of them. And then I'm going to add a little bit of extra weight to this one here. And then I'm going to do maybe 3 or 4 more lines. And then I'm going to add in a different place a little bit of extra weight on this one. And then I'm going to keep going. And I'm letting it sort of curve down the line a little bit. And then add a little bit of extra ink. And then keep going. And before you get all the way down, in the tutorial that I was taking this off of, instead of going all the way down in one direction, she then turned the tile and went the other way to fill in. I don't know that it makes that much of a difference. You can try it and see how you feel. Maybe it gives a little bit of a different feel coming back the other way. I'm not totally sure. So you get this really cool striping with, they described it looks sort of like strands of hair or different spots that have a little bit more thickness than the other. It creates interest. So we're going to do that on all of the bands that go through the slits. So again, take this as a meditation, take your time and have fun with this. It's sort of like diva dance because it's like a waltz, and Amy, you can speak to this better, but it's like a step, 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 glide, step, 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 glide sort of a thing. Come back to the breath. Relax. Be intentional. Take your time. Enjoy. Be kind to yourself. Reserve judgment. I find I really get into a groove with this one. It's really fun. It's like organized chaos, organized randomness. Okay, once you've finished that, you can cap your pen. We'll move on to shading and highlighting in a moment. I'll give you a minute to finish what you're working on. All right, are we ready for some shading? Yeah, all right, great. So go ahead and find a Zentangle pencil, or any pencil will do if you don't have one handy. You're gonna wanna use sort of the side of the pencil instead of the tip. It gives you sort of a softer edge, makes it easier to blend. There's a million different ways that we could shade this, but let's start going around. You're going to see what feels good to you. As always, you want to have areas that are richly shaded, and then some medium ground, and then areas that we don't touch with the pencil. And with the tan tiles, we can use the white charcoal to add highlights, which is really fun. So I'm going to start with where this one band fits into this other band, that first aura that we did, and I'm going to put a nice generous layer of graphite on either side of that aura that we did way back all that time ago. And it's going to really make it look like this thin piece is coming on top and the rest is tucking under. So I'm going to go around and do that. We'll add a bunch of graphite first, and then we'll go around and shade afterwards. Shade with the tortillon, I mean. You know what? I take it back. Let's buff that with the tortillon. Let's do it. We'll do it a step at a time. I lied. Okay, so once you've gone around and put some graphite down, gently go really lightly with the tortillon. These tan tiles, the paper is a bit softer than the white tiles, so if you push too hard, it kind of abrades the paper a little bit. So just go lightly. It'll still do what you need it to do. Just kind of pull it out on that band. Okay. Then we can put the tortillon down and pick up our pencil again. Let's go back now. Let's address this part here where it looks like this band is tucking under this section. And so we can go, let's add a little graphite, like just a curved line of graphite sort of here at each point. So just turn your tile and go around, find where that banded ribbon tucks underneath these central petals, and add some graphite there. And then you can go ahead and shade that with the tortillon. Gently just pulling the graphite where you want it to go. There's so many overs and unders in this. You could really shade it in so many different ways. All right, how about now at this intersection here where we did those thickened lines, let's add a little graphite there on the other side of this shape. I want a little lighter with the graphite on that section. We can also go, just add a little bit of darkening in these upper corners here. Just putting a little bit here. Sets it apart from the auras that we drew. Couple more little details with some subtle shading. Oh, I forgot this one. Forgot to buff this out. Let's go in some of these V's that we were identifying before. Just put a little bit there. It's really coming to life now, but the magic step is still about to happen in just a minute. We add our highlights. Okay, one more little bit of shading on the border. In any of the little crevices, like the angles, and you could just add a little bit of shading. Blend that in. All right, you ready for magic? I'll give you a second. Next, we're going to use our white charcoal. And I go pretty heavy-handed with this, and I don't tend to blend it with the tortillon. Plus, now that we've already muddied this one with black, it can get a little muddled. So I mostly just put the white charcoal down on the tile and I don't do anything with it. But if you want to blend it, you could get a clean tortillon if you have one, or you could use a finger or a Q-tip, or just leave it. All right, so here we go. In these larger areas that we have here, these petal shapes, I'm going to go ahead and put a whole mess of white. I'm going to have it whitest in the center of that space, and then I'm going to leave some of the tan and let it fade into the gray. So again, darkest, the most amount of charcoal in that center of the space, and then let it kind of fade out to the gray, to the tan, and then to the gray. I'm making a lot of little circles. I'm pressing pretty lightly, but I'm layering it on. So I'll spend more time in the center if I want it to be whiter there, and then sort of less time and a lighter touch as I move towards the outer edges of the shape. All right, so that's one step. You can also, in these bands that we did our Senna or our Diva dance or whatever we want to call this in, you can add some white right down the middle, avoiding this piece where it tucks under, but you can go like this and come right down the center, and it looks like, you know, it's shining. So I'm just adding a band of white down the middle of those ribbons there. And I'm not shading it, I'm not blending it in at all. I'm just kind of brushing it in there. And then if you have enough room in these sort of stripes that we made here, you can also go in, add some highlights here. Do a little bit in these outer little sections here. I'm just adding a tiny touch. And then on the border, just like we kind of randomly made some shadow, just add a little bit of highlight. A little bit here and there. I think that looks pretty great. If you see any place else where you feel like where your tile needs a little bit more shadow or highlight, go ahead and add that. Very fun. When you're ready, go ahead and put your chop on the front of your tile, wherever you want to have it hang out. All right, and then flip it over, put your name on it, the date, which is the 6th. I'm going to write TS Zentangle. This is sort of an Elish / Fengal variation with some Senna / Diva dance. And if you want to write something about your mood or how you're feeling or what you think of this tile, if you enjoyed it, you don't have to show me how you felt about it. And then I'm going to take off my spotlight and we can get our video, I'm trying to change my screen so I can get the gallery up so we can see our mosaic and everyone together. Oh, nice. You did it. Yes. Good job, everyone. This was not easy. Oh, they're stunning. Holy smokes. And look how different they all look. Oh, Gloria, yours is really bold. You did something different on the inside. Did you color it all in? I love them. Marcia,
I colored in a piece because my inner pieces were too big. And so then I had to start riffing a bit.
I think it works. It's very bold. I like it. Marcia, you're not happy with yours? Let's see. Hold it up closer. Oh, I think it's
Oh,
fabulous.
it's nice.
It's gorgeous. It's really beautiful. You did a great job. I love them. These came out so well. This was a really hard tangle. I had a hard time following the video at first, and then once you get it, it's like, oh, this is awesome. So I encourage you, this is one to do a lot in a lot of different ways. So the one that they taught it had less
Wow.
spokes and it was sort of lopsided, and I didn't love it, but I like the concept of it. So then I just started adding spokes and, playing around with it. You could try it on different colored tiles and with different shading techniques. I feel like it's a very malleable tangle, whatever it is we're calling it.
This is the one that I did from their video.
I love it. Yours was very neat and orderly. Mine was really like all over the place.
Well, I did it on this is a
On a 5.
which is what they did it on.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why, because it fit really nicely on the phi tile.
Yeah. It's cool. I like it.
I thought it was mesmerizing. I actually liked it a lot.
Yeah, once you get into it and you settle in, I also found that it's very like you just want to keep going, and all you have to do is just keep turning that pinwheel to do each next step. I like things in the round because you just turn and repeat.
I don't think I could do this without somebody step-by-stepping it for me, though, even though theoretically I should be able to. I find this one hard to, it's got so many steps.
It's that tucking behind step, but yeah, we could at some other point. Do you want to? I can show you one more time, just kind of those initial steps to get it going if you're interested. Would you want to see it one more time? Or you feel like you
I can always watch the video again.
can watch the video again. All right. Great. Everyone, this was fabulous. I'm really impressed. I was a little nervous because this is challenging. You did beautifully.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So
Good to see everybody.
Thank
you.
No class
Bye.
next week. We'll see you 19th and the 26th. Okay?
Righto.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, everyone. See you soon.